Welcome into another Musings from the Mind of tutorial. Some of you may have seen I did a Space Dodger game and Pie game. Ended up deciding I needed something a little more robust, something a little more clean, and so I decided to learn Godot. And so I'm going to look at creating the exact same thing in Godot. So if you have Godot and you want to make a Space Dodger, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hit Create. I am going to name the project Space Dodger Toot, and I'm going to put this over in my repos folder right here, and select and create. And then here's what we're going to do is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a Starfield. And what I want to do is I want to kind of make a parallax effect and let it go into basically I'm going to have four types of stars, different sizes, different speeds. The bigger stars will move faster, the smaller stars will move slower, and that way it'll give us kind of that parallax effect. So I'm going to jump in here and I am going to do a node 2D. We're going to call this Starfield, and I'm going to hit Control S, and I am going to create a new folder called Scenes, and I'm going to put all my scenes there, and so we have our Starfield scene. But everything we're going to do specifically with Starfield is going to be done in a script. So I'm going to attach a script here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go up one. I'm going to create another folder called Scripts, and I'm going to put the Starfield in the scripts, and I'm just going to select the object empty. I'm going to hit create. You see it extends my node to 2D. I'm going to set up a couple of vars. So we're going to have a var called stars, and it's just going to be an array of the stars that we create. And then I'm going to have a var called sizes, and this is just the four sizes I am going to let my stars be. And for me, 1, 2, 3, and 4 will work for my draw circle. And then I'm going to have a var called size that we will use later. And then we're going to do our ready function. The ready function is what is done on the first load of the screen. So on the first load of the screen, I want all of my stars to have locations and to have speeds. And the function I'm going to use in ready is going to be different than the one I do when they go off the bottom of the screen, because I want the stars to appear all throughout the screen. So I'm just going to do for I in range, and in my case, I want there to be 50 stars. You can do as many stars as you want, but I'm going to do 50. I'm going to do a colon and enter, which is going to bring us over into this required indent for GDScript. And I'm going to say my size equals sizes. And I'm going to do a random, and it is going to be randomly selecting from the number in the array. So basically, this sizes.size is saying, there are 4 to choose from. Using this sizes.size, like if I went back and added a 5, I wouldn't have to make any changes here because this size is always looking to see the number of elements that are in there. So I'm going to select my size, and then I'm going to do a var star, and it's going to equal, and it's going to have a couple of things. It's going to have a position, and we're going to use a random vector2 to put them in various places on the screen. And so I'm going to have a random f of 600, which is the width of my screen, and a rand f times 860, which is the height of my screen. And this rand f, it just responds with a random number between 0.0 and 1, and that basically means I can get anything from 0 to 600 here. I can get anything from 0 to 860 here. We'll do a comma, and then I'm also going to have a size that exists here, and it's going to equal the size we created. And for right now, I'm going to also have a speed, and right now the speed is going to equal size. But the reason I'm using this size variable here is because if I want it to move faster or slower, I can multiply by 0.5 or 5 or whatever. But I always want to make sure that my sizes affect my speed proportionally. I always want the larger sizes to go faster. But for right now, I'm just going to let the speed also be equal to the size. And then I need to add each time I create a star, I'm going to add it to this group. All right, so now I have created 50 stars in various places on the X and Y axis. Up here you see I have the 600, 860. One thing I forgot to do is I need to go to my project, settings. I want to go to window, and I want to set my width to 600 and my height to 860. Again, you can set that to whatever you want to. I'm also going to change this to portrait, and I'm going to hit close. All right, so I've got my ready function or my onload function. Now I want to have my function called underscore process. This is the function that runs every time the process runs, and so it's what keeps coming back and saying, has anything moved, has anything moved, has anything moved. And so what I need to do is for each circle, I'm sorry, not circle, each star and stars. So I'm going to look at all of my stars, and I'm going to move them and redraw them on the screen. So I'm going to have star dot position, and I'm only going to move these on the Y. So star dot position Y plus equals the star dot speed times the delta. And the delta is basically what has elapsed since the last time you draw, and by using this delta, we make sure our movement is going to be consistent and not choppy. And then, I mean, that right there moves our stars, but then we need to have an if star dot position dot y is greater than 860, meaning it's come off the bottom of the screen. Then we are going to put it back to the top again. So I'm gonna have star dot position dot y. It will always reset to 0. And then star dot position dot x, we're going to randomly place on the x-axis. So we're going to do that same thing again, rand f times 600. And then we're going to go back to even with the for loop here, which means we've now come out of the for loop. All the stars have been updated. And then we are going to queue a redraw. And that queue redraw is going to call this function right here, where we're going to draw the stars. So 4 star in stars, draw circle, and we're going to just pass into it star dot position, star dot size, and we're going to pass it the color white. And if all has done well, we will have us a Starfield. So I'm going to hit play. We haven't set our starting project, but for right now, we'll just do this. I'm going to hit select current. And I had a problem. What did I do wrong? Oops, I misspelled position. So let's do position here, and we'll restart. And my stars are moving extremely slow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here. I'm going to go up here. And this is the reason I use the size method. So I want to do times 35. See if that gets us where we want or too fast. We're going to run again. And now you can see the stars responding. Biggest stars, which would look like they're close to us, are moving fastest all the way back to the lowest stars. I feel like that's a little too fast. So I'm going to drop this to 25 and see if we like it. And that's probably about where I want it to be. And that gives us our Starfield. I hope you come back and join us for our next one. We'll add a player on here who can move left, right, go up and down. We'll do some limiting and spacing to make sure he doesn't go off either side of the screen, doesn't go too far up. But please like and subscribe and follow us for our next step in building this endless space dodger.